What's going on, everybody? We back with another one. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It podcast, where we turn conversation into application. I am your host, Leon Reed Jones, and today I got a special guest once again in the building. I know this guy from church, seeing him at my church, seeing him at his church, you know, his aunt being involved, and just seeing the dope career that he's having and that he's had, and just seeing how God has elevated him, bro. I have none other. I know him as Lawrence, but you guys may know him as Zel B. What's going on, bro? How you feeling?
What it do, man? What
Yes,
it do?
sir.
I appreciate you having me here.
For sure, man. Glad to have you. And before we get started into the questions and your career and different things like that, I always love to ask my guests, if somebody wanted to know who you were, who is Lawrence, who is Zel B, what would you describe yourself as?
I would describe myself as a man that lives on a spectrum. And I say that the spectrum of anything's possible.
For sure.
You know, and I think that's where my faith lies most of the time, and it keeps me humble as an individual, I would say, because you can see so many accomplishments and stuff like that, and you can achieve so much, but I leave everything up to God, you know, because I say if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So, yeah, I say I live on a spectrum, and that's who I am as an individual.
Yeah, man, and I can wholeheartedly attest to that, because seeing how you move and being around you, see how you take care of your family, your son, your girl and everything, bro, I can definitely see how in the way that you live your life, like God is the head of your life, and you truly feel that, like, without him, you wouldn't be anywhere. I see it whether it's at church, on social media, like I said, when you with your family. So, bro, definitely, again, glad to have you. And so we're going to get into the podcast, man. I see you all up and down my timeline, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's Instagram, wherever, man. And I just see how, you know, your career is just taking off and you doing different things, bro. So, like, what made you want to pick up music? Like, did it happen at an early age? Like, take us through that timeline of, like, what made you want to do music?
Well, believe it or not, my great-grandfather, he was a writer himself, you know, and a couple of my uncles. And music runs in my family on both sides. Sure. But my inspiration would be, it kicked in around the time that my great-grandfather passed away. And that's where a lot of my inspirations come from, and I'm gonna get into that with you. But my great-grandfather, he had wrote music for Stevie Wonder and a few other artists, you know, Four Tops or whatnot, and a lot of big artists that I didn't really know about, you know, at the time. And finding that out was at his funeral. Stevie Wonder came and he sung at his funeral, and I got to meet him. I shook his hand, and then I was just like inspired. I was thinking to myself, like, wow, my great grandfather did all this. What did he do? You know, let me look into it. You know, let me see his stories. And he was an unsung hero from Motown. You know, and I'm just like, yo, let me see what I can do. Let me see what my talents is at, because I was already a poet. You know, already wanted to write poetry. I was writing poetry all the time, but I was like, let me put this on music. Let me see how this sounds. Let me see if anybody else feels the same way. Because when you're doing poetry and you're putting it out and things of that nature on social media, you might get some people that would react to it and some people that would be like, oh, you know, that's nice. But people hear when there's sound to it. You know, they feel more when there's sound to it. Fact. So I'm like, let me put this story on the sound and see how y'all feel. Yeah, man. And that's an amazing story, to be honest with you, because seeing how a blessing came out of, like, obviously you lost your grandfather, and that's rough. You know, we lose loved ones, but it was a blessing out of that because you got to hear from so many people, whether it be from the studio of Motown, Stevie Wonder, all these people who saw your granddad do so many things with a pen as far as music goes, and you, like, in a way, it's like, let me see what I can do. God has given me the ability, because to hear that, as that's the reason why you want to do music, I'm in my head thinking, like, this guy is all, I seen him dancing before, I seen him do, like you said, poetry. So I'm thinking this is, like you said, running your veins, it's in your blood. But to hear that story, bro, and how your granddad motivated you and, like, helped you, pushed you in that way to be at the level that you are now, bro, that's amazing. Because for so long, I'm thinking, this is why he's doing this. I'm seeing him dancing. I'm seeing you posting reels. Y'all doing the hustle. You feel me? Y'all getting down. But
to see that your grandfather's funeral basically was a stepping stone for you to move in that direction, bro. That's dope, and that's a blessing. And I definitely feel as though that can help somebody along the way, man. And so that's amazing, bro. Like I would have never known, man. That's why it's always so dope to hear stories like that, because I would have never known that your granddad was writing for the Four Tops and, you know, Stevie Wonder, and you actually had a chance to meet Stevie Wonder, and he came up to you and shook your hand, bro. So even just staying on that, how was that for you? I know you was just kind of in a state of shock, but like, how do you feel like that pushed you forward? Like, what was the mindset moving forward?
Well, at that time, I was trying to figure out my musical talents in general. I can say that because I was in my family, each kid kind of learns whether they on a mic or whether they on the drums or whether they play the piano, like they learn in they niche. You know what I mean? And I tried to get into the piano. I could play by ear, right. You know, a little bit by ear here and there. And then it's like my motivation for that was going away, like it was going down. But I'm like, well, what do I like? You know what I mean? So, man, I tried playing the keys and stuff, and it just wasn't my main focus. It was like, okay, that's another skill you have, but what do you need? Like, what will make you happy? What will make you comfortable?
Facts.
When I first did my first song, I did a few songs on SoundCloud, and it was like, you know, like you going out to the world, you nervous, you know, you go start doing random open mics and stuff like that, and in strange places, you know. I think one of my open mics was a strip club. You know, it was a strip club once. Yeah. And I'm like, they're like, you gotta pay. You gotta pay. You gotta throw money at the stripper when you go up there, and you gotta do your song. And I'm like, does this song even have the capabilities? Right. You know, of having strippers dance. I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of different. You get nervous. It's a nervous process, but you never know until you just jump out there into the water and see how it feels. You know, and get your experience in it. And what motivates you and keep you going is if you decide not to give up. Yeah. You know, it wasn't easy. It's still not easy now. It can be unmotivational sometimes. You know, when you may make a song and then people, you don't have a lot of listeners, you don't have a lot of followers, or you don't know how to push that music and stuff out there, it can really pull you back. But it all leads back to faith in God at the end of the day, because it's like, okay, gotta have the faith, you know, because I feel that need, I feel that urge, you know, I feel another story in my head, I feel another song coming on, but I don't know how to lay this out there. I don't know how to put this out there. This may be my next big song. This may be a mediocre song. This may be a below average song. I don't know, but all I know is that I want to put this story out there. What's the best way I could do it? Yeah. You know, but that's what that leads me to, you know, from that story with Stevie Wonder, even with him shaking my hand. You know, I started to venture off and try, you know, try to push my musical talents in what ways I could, and to see what inspired me the most, or what basically led me in a good direction. Yeah, man. And sticking on that point of, you said something about finding your niche. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And a lot of people, because knowing you and knowing your background, you know, knowing Sister Cantrell and the Johnson family, you come from a, you know, popular heritage of people that do music, that's very musically inclined. And how you talked about playing the piano, you wanted to start off playing the keys, but you realize, like, this isn't me. Like, it'll be dope to play the keys. Who wouldn't want to, you feel me? You could pick up a girl playing the piano. You feel me? You can pick up money playing the piano. But it's like, you can sing. You already can sing. So singing and playing the piano, it's just like, but you understood, like, this is not me. And I feel like a lot of, not just artists, but creatives in general, or people in general on their walking and their purpose, need to hear that, because you will come from a rich heritage of people that are skilled in a certain area, whether it's music, whether it's in the medical field, whatever it is, bro. And a lot of times you get caught in this web of, yo, you got to do this because your granddad did this, or you got to play keys because, you know, your uncle play keys, or like, even with me sometimes, like, people would ask me, you know, my dad sing and he is like heavy in the funeral business or whatever. Oh, you gonna be, cat. You know what I'm saying? Your dad a smooth cat, man.
Like, it's just like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do music. I love music. You know, I definitely don't want to be working at no funeral home. But it's like you have to find what you said, your niche, and once you find it, you have to allow God to help you build that, bro. So I think that's wonderful, because a lot of people need to hear that, because so many people are doing what they mom want them to do and what they sister want them to do, or what they feel like the world is telling them to do. And it's nothing wrong with making suggestions and different things like that. There's nothing with following in your people's footsteps. But I just think about what my mom told me and my older cousin growing up, like, don't do what we want y'all to do. You know, respect us, you know, stuff like that. But you got your own path you gonna walk. I'm just here as a guide. God got me here as a guide for you to lead you to that. And when you get old enough, when you get, you know, the wherewithal, some form of wherewithal, then you take it from there. You know what I'm saying? So I love that, bro. And so just hearing how you found that niche, who are some of your inspirations, you feel like? Who are some people that growing up or even now, even still finding your way through that, who are some of the people that you look up to in music?
Man, in music, it would be people like J. Cole.
Okay.
You know, Drake, Kendrick Lamar. And those are the areas in which I stay in sometimes. Mm-hmm. But then I have underrated artists, you know, that I listen to, like Pink Sweats. Yeah. Xavier Omar. You know, the way that they deliver their music, you know, and the way they inspire others sometimes, Division, DVSN, as some people say.
For sure.
You know, they have this way they do their music and people listen to it. You know, they got their own crowds, their own people, their own fan base. And I'm like, man, like, y'all delivering it in the way that y'all want to. And y'all fans are loving it, you know. And I'm a fan myself. And so when I see sometimes that, like, earlier I seen that Pink Sweats was an independent artist. Yeah. I would have never knew that the way I, you know, see his music and things of that nature. I'm like, yo, to me, he's a big star. Yeah. You know, but to other people, it may not be the same because they don't really know him. You know, it's different for everybody, but I feel that way about my fans too, because I don't know who all my fans are. Exactly. You know, I don't know who really follows me like that. I don't know who really listens to my music like that. And all I could do is be grateful all the time and look at it like how I feel like other artists do as well. You know, they be humble and they can just tell everybody thank you. Yeah. You know, tell everybody they appreciate them. You know, keep motivated, keep listening to my music. You know, all the love is what, you know, keeps me inspired, along with my my motivation from artists.
For sure, man. And that's dope. And Pink Sweats, I had another artist, shout out Saray. You know, y'all go get her music too. But that was another person I'm constantly hearing. It's a guy, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, because I think I heard some song by him before. But I heard her bring him up too. So that's dope, man. And just hearing that, man, it's so crazy, because I think sometimes people get into this mindset or this narrative. Like, I saw a girl the other day, like how you can leave in your DMs, you can leave the notes at the top. Mm-hmm. She was like, y'all irritate me with the podcast era. It's like y'all saying pick me, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I can understand why she feels that way. That's her position, because now the podcast era is the wave. You feel me? A few years back, everybody wanted to rap. Everybody wanted to sing. A few years back, it was something else. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think to kind of, I wouldn't say delete that mindset, because like I said, I understand why she feels that way. But you can tell those who really committed to the craft and whatever it is, whether it's music, whether it's podcasting, whether it's entrepreneurship, by how consistent and committed they are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got people that, even if nobody watching, they still in the lab, they still in the studio, they still doing this. But it was kind of crazy to see that, because everybody has inspiration, right? We just sat here and talked about how you listen to Pink Sweats, you listen to J. Cole, right? You're not just coming out the woodworks like, oh, I want to be an artist because I want to be an artist. Like, you had to see your granddad write stuff. You had to listen to a song when your mama was cooking breakfast, you feel me? And you like, oh, shoot, I wasn't born when that song came out, but I like this. I like the Temptations. I like this. I'm rocking with what Cole's saying because I went through this with old girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
so it's like everything comes from inspiration. It's not to say that you are your granddad or you gonna be just like J. Cole, but it's like, let me listen to Love Yours and see if I could create not what he's doing, but something similar to my situation that I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? But it gets difficult because, like what you saying, like I got these different people that I listen to, but then you looking at the world when you put out this music, how's this gonna be perceived? How's like, is somebody gonna say, oh, he trying to sound like such and such? But it's like everybody gains inspiration from somewhere. But you have to make it your own. You know what I'm saying? Look at all the basketball players. They ain't just want to play basketball just because it was cool. It's other factors that went in line. So I'm glad you said that because a lot of times I think we can get wrapped up in like, oh, now somebody want to be a rapper again. And I feel like it's easy when you really locked in, you can tell who really serious about this thing, whether, like I said, it's music, you know, wanting to be an actor, whatever the case may be. So, bro, that's dope, man. And just to kind of see, have you ever been in the studio and like, okay, I'm feeling this type of vibe, like I'm feeling like J. Cole today, or like this type of vibe? Like, what are the vibes like when you go record or when you write? Like, how is that for you?
Man, it can be crazy sometimes. You know, I've wrote a couple songs and I've had like friends around, you know what I mean? And I think one of my friends that I can really, you know, shout out and send love to is my boy Naeem. For sure. He's been like, we've been chilling, you know, we'd throw some instrumentals on YouTube off the TV, you know, and then the instrumentals would just play through, you know, and I'm coming up with new lines, coming up with new verses, and he's throwing some stuff in there. He might throw some stuff in there like, oh, this is a good beat, or we should try this, or you should try this, you know, and it'd be like, you know, or it'd be like, oh yeah, you know, we hype, you know, and then I start writing. But also there's times, it was one when I was writing my first EP, Nighttime Vibe, and the first song on there, first song on my song EP is Nighttime Vibe. I did that with my cousin Olivia. It took us a minute to actually go to the studio, record it. I had been wrote it, but it took a couple months. Like some songs take a minute to get into the studio to record. Some songs you consistently working on, consistently adjusting. Like, you know, working on a whole new project right now, but I guarantee you it probably won't be released until next year or, you know, the end of the year. But
exactly,
it's me working on projects, you know. But that's what I call them. You know, like I did a song called Creepin'. That was on my EP, my first EP. My first EP was supposed to have been just a project. That's what I was calling it, you know, because it was a series of different songs and they were all done in different ways.
Facts.
You know, Creepin' was me coming in like in my head like Cole. Like in my head I'm like, I feel like Cole. So when I first came in on the track, it was like, need me, but I need you. Feel me while I feel you.
Facts.
It's a real thing. It's a real you. Nice hips and a new dude. You know, like I'm like the person that inspired that flow was Cole, because I'm like, how you feeling? Like it's a cold world right now. You just you know,
man,
like
for sure.
I really gave him a shout out, but without giving him a shout out in my actual song, in that song. Yeah. But I used it in the form of toothpaste. So it was just like, you know, I was like, fresh out my mouth, that's Colgate. Locked up tough, that's Colgate. I don't know. Yeah, it was right there. I was like, you know.
Yeah, man. No, that's dope, bro, because like you said, because me, I'm the type of person, like somebody's album I'm looking forward to coming out is Bryson Tiller and Justin Timberlake. Now, Justin Timberlake announced when his album is coming out. Bryson Tiller is more like, okay, it's coming soon. And I'm like, he been doing this thing called Tiller Tuesdays where he drops songs and they've been fire. But like, I'm the type of person, I love music so much, like, bro, give us the music. And the reason why I bring that up is because how you said, I'm just putting this out. This is supposed to be my project. And then you working on another one and that ain't gonna come out until next year. But like when you hear a song, you like, bro, he went crazy on this. You know what I'm saying? You need more, like as a fan, you like, bro, I need this. Like I need you to at least announce when the album come out. Or like when somebody say, my album dropping March 15th. and March 15th get here, you like, oh, we got to push it back. You like, dang, bro, we've been waiting on this. So, man, that's so crazy because, like, from a fan's perspective, you like, bro, we just need to hear more of this because you dropping. Because if it was up to me, I'm like, my favorite artists, they need to drop every day. But it's like, it's the whole building up. And like you said, sometimes it's hard when you go in the studio and you like, nah, I think we need to put more preparation into this. I think we got to put this off into this. So the excitement builds for this, and then we drop it. It's like, sheesh. Mm-hmm. My boy Lawrence went crazy. Zell went crazy on this one. He went.
See,
yeah.
The crazy thing about that is that people don't realize that sometimes you can go to a studio. I had a song where I had like 3 songs I did one time. I went to one studio and recorded it with a producer, you know, and he had like a drinking problem. So, you know, I'm 2 songs in, I'm giving it, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is great. But then he was like, I guess one of my songs that I was doing put him in his feelings. It put him in his thoughts of something he was experiencing with somebody, and he went off to go start drinking. He'll take a break to go start drinking, and I'm just like, by the time he came back in and I'm ready to work on my 3rd song, you know, he took another break, you know, back to go drink some more. So now to the session, I had a 2-hour session. It turned into a 6-hour session. You know what I mean? That's money out of your pocket if you think about it. But he like, you know, I'll just charge you for the 2 hours, you know, not the 6. But I'm like thinking in my head, I only booked 2 hours, so whatever I had to do the rest of the day, I had stuff I had to do. Exactly. I had to cancel that to work on my whole shebang, you know. And by the time he sent me the music, first 2 songs good, other couple songs sound like it was just like, yo, what did you do? Like, what was on your mind? So I had to leave there, right? Leave that studio, go to another one, like pay to go see another producer, you know. So now I'm paying to re-record the same songs I just spent money recording the first time. But it's what happens sometimes if you like coming up as an independent artist, you know, you're not working in the studio, you're not in the studio and signed to a label, you know, you doing your own thing. It's a rough road out here, you know, building that team. You know, I got artists I know, you know, that had lost inspiration and like, you know, I'm giving up, I'm deleting all my music, I've taken all my music down. But I'm like, yo, you one of my inspirations too, because like when I heard your track, you know, heard your first track, I'm like, I need to do a song with you. You know, and you came right on here and we recorded a song together and dropped it only knowing each other for about a week, you know. I dropped it and I left to the military, you know what I mean? That's what it was. You know what I mean? And you find those friends along the way doing that same thing.
Yeah, man. And so just hearing how, bring up again, you found your niche, having that background of your grandfather, having a family that's musically inclined, and then now these are the different vibes. I'm feeling like Cole sometimes. Other times I'm in a pink sweats mood. So what would you define your music as, and like what is the message that you want to send from a Zel B's perspective? What is that like for you? What do you want the fans to hear when they listen to your projects, when they hear that song? What is the message, and like what is your sound in your opinion?
I am a storyteller. Like I write stories in my head. Like this is a story. Like when you listen to my music, there's a story happening. Like when you listen to my EP or well, I say like my albums, like my recent album last year, my very first album, because everything else was like EPs or singles, but I dropped my first album last year, The Beauty of It All.
For sure.
You know, and The Beauty of It All is the title of a story that's happening. You know, you got the story of Chosen that starts first, you know, I nearly lost it when I seen you, and you get down to the middle of it, of the EP, and it's like, you know, there's a breakup happening. They want to take a step back from everything. And then there's an explanation of, you know, why I wanted, you know, I just wanted your time. All I really wanted was time. You know what I mean? And then you get to the area where it's like, well, it ain't my problem if you want to leave, you know, as long as you let me go. You know, because I don't want to be stringed along in this process of you letting me go, you know what I mean? So just completely let me go and we can call it a day. Then it's like finding love again. Like I'm venturing off to go find love again on the other side of the world. So you got other side at the end. For sure. You know, we on the other side. You know, only you can make me feel. You know what I mean? Like
facts. Hey, did y'all hear that? He said, "Don't string them along." Me and my cousin was just talking about this the other day. If you don't want to be with that girl, you don't want to be with that guy. Let him go.
Let
I'm
him go.
cool. He said, I'm cool. Just let me go. Don't string me along. Let me know what it is. And I'm deuces emoji. You heard it here first. He didn't just tell you. He sung it in a song, man. Stop playing.
Love is able to be, you can find love all over again, just like you found it the first time. Because if you think about it, the album go full circle. Because after you find him on the other side, you go back to Chosen, because I nearly lost it when I seen you. Right. Back to the beginning. It's like, it's full circle. So that's my full circle album in my head. I wrote those songs at all different times, but those songs aligned in a story of what was actually happening in my life. You know what I mean? But nobody would ever know that I just put my life story, you know, of what just happened to me in the whole album for y'all to hear from beginning to end, you know?
Yeah, man, that's dope, bro. Like, and I just love the title, bro. Like, I'm a big person of when I hear something like, bro, this album gonna be crazy. If I was able to see when it first jumped off, like, the beauty of it, oh, sheesh, what he talking about? You feel me? Or when you hear going back to J. Cole, For Your Eyes Only, or my boy, y'all know, CB, Chris Breezy.
Yeah.
11-11?
Man.
What you talking about?
I sometimes had it on repeat, man. Like, I got to play at least 11-11 sometimes, you know, at least 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah. You know, because I got all my other artists. But 11-11, be those random, what I want to listen to? Chris Brown.
Yeah, bro. Like, and it's just dope to hear that when you say you're a storyteller and you like somebody listening to your music and they're on the journey with you, like, I'm going through this same thing. Mm-hmm. That's why when you see the reels or the videos, you see somebody's story, they going crazy while they listen to the song, because I really feel this. I really feel like what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let me go. I'm cool. Like, if you don't like me, I'm good, but don't keep me just so you can have me on the side. Don't keep me just because you could, man, look.
Yeah, I had one of my fans tell me, like, I was surprised. I'm like, when I did a song right before the military too, it was and then My Problem is on the EP, is on that album. And I recorded, that was a raw recording. Like, that was like, this is how I'm feeling. I don't care how my voice sounds, like I'm hurt. And so I recorded it raw, like, and dropped it. Yeah. And me in my head, I'm like, after listening to it, I'm like, man, I don't like how I sound. Yeah. You know, but when I started listening to my fans, it was like, I know you just redid the song, you did a remake for the album, but that very first one, don't take that down, don't delete it. Said because they said we can feel the rawness of, like, I can feel your pain there. Like, I hear it in the song. Like, it ain't my problem if you want to leave, as long as you let me go. Like, I feel it.
That's the real. That's the real. When they could take it in, like, sheesh, I'm dealing with this right now. And that song, you feel me? I went on that late night drive and I heard, you feel me? Let me go now. Like, yeah, bro. I think those are the ones that hit different. It's kind of, when I hear that, I think about the song "Don't" by Bryson Tiller, or what's the other one? Exchange. Like, give me all of you in exchange for me. Like, what?
For me.
Right. You feel me? Ain't nobody ever said that before, but when you hear it, you like, sheesh. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope, bro. And just seeing the other side, because I know both sides, the musical side and you as an individual, you as a man. So is there any difference between Lawrence versus Zel B?
Yes. And the person that created that difference was my grandfather, Pastor Clarence Johnson, rest his soul, who passed away just a couple years ago. And when he told me, maybe a couple years before he died, he was just like, you know, you're an artist. You know, you're a photographer, you know, because I do photography and videography too. Like, he said, you're good in all the arts. He said, you need an artist name. Like, you need a name for yourself. Yeah. And he said, a Lenzel. Like, he said, Lenzel, and he's being funny. He's like, a Lenzel boss. You know? And I was like,
I'm sick he hit you with that one.
Yeah, he said, you go to Paris or something like that, you know, and people ask what your name is, a Lenzel boss. I said, I'm sick. I don't think I'm gonna post balls on social media, so I'm gonna just
do that one, dog.
I'm gonna change my name. I'm changing my name to Zel B. You know, cut it down to Zel B. And after that, like, you know, it became a even bigger meaning even after he passed, because it's like, you know, this is something that he gave me outside of all the nicknames I've had as a kid coming up. he adhered to my talent and said, hey, as a person with talents, you need a talented name, you need an artist name because you are an artist.
Yeah.
You know, and to be recognized like that, like this is who you are, is big, you know, especially coming from somebody you look up to in such a huge way. Because if it wasn't for my grandfather sometimes, you know, I don't know what my mindset would be like. You know, I love my dad is amazing and it's his dad, you know. If it wasn't for his dad giving him the information as well and giving it down, passing it down to us, it'd be the same thing.
Sure.
My granddad pushed this thing, you know, love, you know, loving everybody. You know, his favorite artist was Al Green, you know, and it don't take him a second to sing him Al Green. So as soon as it come on, you know,
man.
Quick to tell you, let's stay together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Got to play that on a Sunday.
Yes, indeed. And then you set the tone for your family and the type of man that you are when you display these characteristics. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. But that's where you get Zel B from. You know, my Zel B is the artist area of me, the musical, the painting, the drawing, the videography. Like, this is me as an artist put into one person versus me as an individual and as a man and as a father and as a future husband and as a co-worker,
shout out, man.
You know, and as a soldier, leader, you know. That's Lawrence. Lawrence is this leader. Lawrence is the person that leads households. He leads his friends. He leads his soldiers. He leads, you know, I want to be a leader everywhere I go. And so to be a leader, you know, you have to know who you are. Yeah. So there's sometimes when there's a difference, and there's sometimes when I would put them both together. Like, okay, I need the artist side of you, and I need the leader side of you. I need you to be both today. Sure. You know, and then you got days where I just need you to be Lawrence today, or I just need you to be Zel B, because Lawrence gonna be at home with his wife. Lawrence is gonna be at home with the kids. Yeah. You know, playing the game and playing with the toys. You know, chilling. Yeah. And then you got Zel B. Where is Zel B at? Zel B is at the museum. Zel B is at the studio. Zel B is creating right now. Zel B needs a moment because Zel B is in the area of making something pop right now. You know what I mean? And he's worried about his fans. He's worried about his analytics. You know, how many sales he got, how many downloads he got, how many saves he got. How can he be better? How can he create this team of people to help him build his career, you know, as an independent artist? You know, it's more stress, I would say. It's more stress being, I would say it was more stress being an artist back then than it is now. Yeah. You know, I think nowadays you really just got to have faith in the area of motivation. And sometimes you got to be your own motivation. Push yourself sometimes, because you can ask God for the faith and the push all day, but faith without actual work is dead, and it's there for you, you know. Yes, sir. And it shows itself all the time, you know. And it's like saying, oh yeah, I want a relationship to work, but I don't want to put the work in. Are y'all listening? I don't want to change. Did y'all hear what he said? I don't want to be nobody different, you know. My dad just said this today. My dad said, while he was preaching, he said, you are not amazing just as you are. Right. You know, God is expecting you to change. Exactly. So if you feel like, you know, you're amazing just as you are, I mean, you really got some work to do. People change every day. Man, I'm trying to tell you. People change every day, every year. I told my future wife this. I said, babe, you know, every year I'm gonna learn a new you. Every year we're gonna grow with each other and be different individuals from what we were when we first met. You know, and I take that along with me in my life when it comes to understanding people. Yeah. You got friends. You probably didn't seen a few friends in the last 3 or 4 months since the year started. You know, but when y'all see each other, there's gonna be something new in their life. There's gonna be something different that changed. You know, hair might be different. You know, face might be different. You know, nails. Something is changing with them, and it's gonna create a ripple effect to where they're gonna be a different person next year, or even later this year, tomorrow. You know, you know, you can get to a car crash, you can lose your life, you can lose. Not lose your life, but you can lose your place. You know, it's things that happen that change, and a lot of us go through these impactful things. And some people expect us to be the same person when we come out, but it'd be like, yo, sometimes when I go through things, God bring me out as a different individual. I have more armor on than I did the first time when I went into the storm. That's a fact. You know what I mean? I probably didn't have a helmet on the first time. I was probably being, what they say, a hard-headed individual. Yeah. You know, I wanted to go in head first with no helmet, but God said, you need a helmet to tackle this situation. Sure. I know you got your chest plate on and your shoulder guards, but where's your helmet?
Yeah,
they hit you upside the head, or you being hard headed. You know what I mean?
You need the full armor.
Exactly. You need the full armor of God, and that's every day with everything you do. But that's what I hold when it comes to my music and my life. But that's why that's incorporated in the area of who is LB and who is Lawrence, because Lawrence is not, Zel B is nothing without Lawrence, and Lawrence is nothing without God. And I'm not, when it comes to God, I'm nothing without my armor, because I have to wear the whole armor, even as a soldier.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna send you in a battlefield with half your gear.
You're gonna be messed up.
God said, he give you his words in the Bible, right? The Bible is supposed to be, this is what you use. It's your daily guide right here. Mm-hmm. What they say, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Yes, you know what I mean? If you don't read the Bible, sometimes if you read the Bible, then you have an understanding of what some people talking about. You look in there, you see where God displayed love. God show you, like, I was where you were. I was a poor individual. Mm-hmm. God didn't say, when we was poor, so I started scamming, right. and Mary supported me in my area of scamming. What an amazing mother. Right. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
God didn't say I needed to go rob and steal to get the money I need. God, if you think about Jesus, he took walks, he took walks. He had a group of people around him. They weren't perfect individuals,
Exactly.
Every single one of them had an issue, had a problem, but they were willing to change.
Yeah.
And I got to go back again. That's what's incorporated in Zel B and Lawrence. Lawrence and Zel B, I was willing to change. Yeah. I was willing to be somebody different, to go further along in my life instead of staying the same.
Yeah, man. That's a word right there, bro. Like, sheesh, I needed that. And I'm sure so many people needed that as well, bro. So now what we're going to do, something I always like to do for my guests, is if you got anything going on, song out, album, EP, I want to give you that opportunity right now, because I'm big on giving people that I know, even if I don't even know you personally, but I see you doing something positive and uplifting, and you trying to get your name out there for whatever it is that you're doing. I want to give people their flowers while they can smell them. So I want to give you this opportunity to basically do a commercial break and say what you got coming up or what you already have out now as far as like your music and everything. Well,
right now I just dropped a EP, a short EP. It's actually a project. My EPs in my head, they projects. And excuse me, my bad. This EP is called Sorry for Your Loss, but I titled it S4YL. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. I titled it S4YL. It's a letter to the street saying goodbye. Mm-hmm. I'm getting into something. I'm about to get married. You know what I mean? I'm about to get married in August. August 17th. I'm
Shout out, man. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. So I created Sorry for Your Loss as a project of saying goodbye. So my first song on there is S4YL. I come in rapping. And then my grandfather, my mom's dad, he comes in. I recorded him talking about marriage and his experience, his story of how he, got married with his wife. Yeah. And then after that, I talk about, it's another story about when I seen my wife for the first time, and it started when we were younger. I seen her, and we didn't necessarily say, oh, yeah, I like you. We didn't look at each other that way. We were more friends than we were, in the area of liking each other. So it took time. It took, time for me to go back and then come back as a different individual. Then I left again. I came back another individual. Then, it was like that with her too. But it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. And then after that, it's her love letter to me. Yeah. As a person and as an artist, and as her husband, it's her speaking words into me, motivating me and telling me, how she feels about me as an individual. And I didn't tell her, hey, these are the words you need to write down and this is what you need to come up with. I said, babe, I know you wrote me letters that you have read. I know that you wrote a letter that you read to me before about how you felt. Yeah. Would you mind putting this, recording audio? I didn't even give her a sound. I gave her the music, nothing. Can you mind doing a voice recording of this? For sure. And I'm going to do what I do after that. She gave me the voice recording. I got the audio together. I got the music together. Put them together just like it was, and she was like, wow. Yeah, you know what I mean? For sure. But the EP only got 4 songs. Yeah. Sorry for Your Loss, Marriage, When I See You, Autumn's Love Letter. And yeah.
Yeah, no, that's...
But it dropped 2/2/24, you know, and it's a reason I did that though, but I ain't gonna talk about it too much.
For sure, man.
Yeah, my lucky number is, I'm gonna say it like that. Yeah, my lucky number is 3, you know. And so I like to do things where like all the numbers are equal, like where it just makes people think sometimes, because artists do that. They just do stuff sometimes to make people think.
For sure.
You know, like 2 + 2 is 4. You got 2, 2, 2, 4, and then you add everything together. You know, people just started thinking like, why is he dropping it on this day? But that's just building our fan base. You know what I mean? It's building a fan base, sure. And you find those fans that believe in those type of things, or just believe in you in general. You know, you want to step into everybody's area of belief and understanding, and see how y'all can come together. 'Cause somebody might be inspired by the area of marriage. You know, somebody may be on a journey of trying to get married. Somebody may be on a journey of trying to be a celibate individual, or even find love. You just never know, over these billion of people that's in the world, who feels how you feel.
Yeah.
You know? And so if y'all go hear my story, sorry for your loss, you know, go stream it. It's on Spotify, Apple, you know, everywhere. Every streaming service, every social media service. My music is everywhere. You know, type in Zel B. You know, you can go on YouTube. You know, you type in Zel B and type in my real name, Lawrence Johnson. I will come up. You can even look me up on Google. Forget it. If you can't find me anywhere, if you're not typing it in right, you can go to Google. I promise you, type in Zel B, and I will come up on Google. My music, everywhere it's at, anything about me, my biography, everything about me is on Google. As long as you type it, you know. So thank you for that. Thank you for giving me that time to shout myself out, you know, and push my music out there. And I lately, man, last but not least, like the last month or so, man, my music, I started like jumping, like getting pushed out, because I guess, you know, marketing and whatnot, because when you're your own marketer, you just don't know, you know. You just don't know.
Boy.
But, you know, when you become your marketer and you pushing your stuff, you just hoping that what you're paying for in marketing, that it comes back, you know, tenfold, you know.
Sure.
And yeah. So this month, like, was a big month for me, you know, because I got maybe maybe 10,000 streams this month, 10 or 11,000 streams, going to 12,000 streams this month. And that's big as an independent artist. Like, it's not huge, but to me that's huge. You know, coming to 0 to 12,000 is
that's growth,
crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I say that to inspire anybody. Don't give up because you got 5 followers. Don't give up because you got 10 followers or 10 people that listen to your music. So you may have 20. So you may have 100.
Yeah.
You know, so you may have 200, 3,000, you know, but that is you putting in that time, you know, and honing in on your skills and saying, God, I'm not giving up on this. I want to be better. I want to be better at this. So my word today is like, lead your life saying, I want to be better than I was yesterday.
For sure.
I want to be better than I was last year. I started saying that at the end of 2018. And I tell people that all the time. People don't understand. People don't know where I came from, you know, and what my story is sometimes. Like, because when you get into your early 20s and whatnot, and well, your teenage years, you know, late teens, like 18, 19, 20, you start partying and stuff, going out with your friends, and then you can sometimes get into the area of drinking or smoking and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And I was turning up with my friends, drinking all the time with my friends, you know, and some people that are not my friends no more, you know, drinking every single day, you know, and it did not stop. And I was just like, you know, I may have a problem, you know, because I'm doing these same things every day, and I find this to be okay. You know, some people were okay losing their jobs for drinking, losing their friends for drinking, fighting because they're drinking, and they still don't stop, you know, and they just keep going. But I had my first kid in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the end of the year, I'm like, I have been getting told, my mom and them, like, you know, you got to get better. Like, you can't be doing this no more. Like, you got a kid, you got to get better.
For sure,
you know,
bro.
as a 20-year-old, you like, I got to do what?
Yeah, I'm out here.
I got to change. I'm out here. That's what I said. Like, I literally looked at my mom and was like, no, You know, like, I'm gonna keep doing this.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing me. This is. I'm out here. I'm outside. You feel me?
But life kicks in.
Yeah,
it kicks in, and God stares you right in the face. You know, and that's when you realize, like, yo, I gotta be better. Because if I'm hearing like you are like this, you're like that, Lord, I'm not this person. You know, I've changed and I've become somebody I cannot recognize. I want to be better.
Yeah.
You know, and I went through that battle and that struggle, and nobody will ever know that part, you know, but I could put it out here today because you never know who needs to hear that story. It's not too late. It is never too late. You may fall down, but a saint is just a sinner who fell down and then got back up.
Yeah.
Get up.
That's a word, bro.
Get up, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what we're going to do is go into this next portion of the podcast before we get up out of here. This portion of the podcast is called Let Me Get to Know You. So I got 2 questions for you today. The first one, growing up, playing video games and different stuff like that, what game, in your opinion, is better, Sonic or Mario, and why?
Sonic. And let me tell you, I had a Sega.
Yes, sir.
I had a Sega as a kid. I had a Sega, man. And I played that Sega all the time, and even still to today. You know, Sonic is still that main thing on my mind. I had a GameCube not too long after that, but that, you know, that's the time, man. So I got my GameCube, and, you know, I'm playing Mario Kart, you know what I mean? But nothing was comparing to that Sonic speed, you know, and he turned into that ball, and he's pounding Mr. Eggman, you know. It's different, you know. I was a runner, so I like to run fast and shit,
for sure,
you know, and stuff like that. You know, so Sonic run too, Sonic fast too. So he
crazy.
He had that relation, so I like that game better. You know, I like Sonic better as an individual.
I say Mario Kart because you had not Mario Kart, but I would say Mario because he had Mario Kart. You could do similar to what Sonic did. He just wasn't as fast as Sonic. You had different things with Mario. Like Sonic, it was like you're gonna be running, you're gonna be chasing rings. With Mario, you could be driving on one game, you could be going to another dimension, you could be doing this, that, and the fourth. But both are spectacular games. But I would have to go Mario. I would remember my older cousin, she had all the Mario games, all the different. She had almost all of them for real. I wouldn't be shocked if she still had the latest ones. But my second question is, what is a better movie? Cheaper by the Dozen or Johnson's Family Vacation?
Man, I'm sick you asked me this question too. You gotta understand, man. I am a Johnson Family Vacation.
Man, I was gonna say, I don't know. You gotta choose wisely, bro. You gotta choose wisely.
Yeah, I watched that over and over again with my brothers and us. You know, watch Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer. You know, go at it. You know, as brothers. You know,
crazy.
It's something, man. Especially when you got siblings, you know exactly how that is. Yeah, man. That was funny, man. That job. The way his car got jacked up with all that concrete getting poured on it in the front, man.
Car was finished, dog. Had to call that man up, Uncle Earl, man. Uncle Earl ain't even get it fixed.
No, he just put it together.
Man, he just put that boy right back together. Got to the crib, that boy fell apart all the way. Sick.
Dropped to the ground. Boop.
Man, in the driveway though, the craziest thing ever. But no, I would say both are dope, funny movies, but just that combination, like you said, of Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer. You had Bow Wow, who was a very relevant artist. Solange. It was just so many moments, like when they was arguing with each other during prayer. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. So
no, wait, the scene where Bow Wow peed in that cup and threw it out the window, and the police officer, and they hit the police officer in the face.
Man, I ain't even peep until just when you said that. The police officer was Godfrey, a comedian. I didn't even know that was him back in the day, which is so crazy now because Godfrey, one of the most funniest people ever. But, bro, that junk was crazy. Nah, man. That's how I thought. Every road trip and I had to use the restroom, I'm like, dang, I might have to find me a cup like my boy Bow Wow. I ain't gonna make it, dog. But, nah, man, it's definitely been a blessing and a pleasure having you at the podcast, bro. So I definitely
thank you for having
appreciate you for pulling up. And so before we get out of here, I want to end with the quote. It's by my main man, Inky Johnson, man. If y'all haven't heard Inky Johnson, go listen to him. The quote says this: our perception of life can either be a sign of weakness or great strength. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Let's Talk About It podcast. I see y'all same time, same place.
Let's go.
Yes, sir, bro. Appreciate you, dog.
Man, it's no problem, bro. I appreciate you, man. I was so excited to come, bro.
Man.
I was talking about it all day.
Man, that'd be my life.